Hello, my curious people. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry are celebrating their second wedding anniversary, and you gotta admit that despite such a young and yet short relationship, a lot has happened in their lives, and many of their achievements have turned not only their world upside down, but even the British royal family. Meanwhile, rumor has it that Meghan and Harry will have to get married for the second time after moving to America. But why? Well, in this video, we will answer these questions, and to tell you more about the marriage of the grandson of Elizabeth II, stay with us till the very end. But don't forget to like the channel and to turn on the subscriptions so you don't miss our other amazing videos. So, if you guys remember, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle met through mutual friends, and immediately there was a spark between them. They got engaged on November 27th of 2017 at the Frogmore residence where they lived, and later got married on May 19th of 2018 exactly at 12 p.m. in the chapel of St. George in Windsor. Anyway, you can hear about their love story, engagement, and fulfilling fairy tale in our other video, to which we refer you to now. But here we must remind you that contrary to the appearances, Meghan had to make many sacrifices to marry Prince Harry. To become the Duchess of Sussex, Meghan, what was quite obvious from the beginning, first of all, had to quit her job. This is why before changing the matrimonial status, she ended cooperation on the set of the series Suits, where she played one of the main roles. She also gave away her apartment in Toronto, finished advertising contracts with one of the Canadian clothing companies, and also deleted her Instagram account and closed her popular blog, The Tig, where she described, among other things, traveling around the world and people she met and famous friends. That's not all. Markle also ended her cooperation with charities such as the United Nations, World Vision Canada, or One Young World. Known for being involved in helping others, the young actress felt it quite painful, but by entering the royal family, she was supposed to be socially and charitably active. But only as the wife of Harry, and she was going to appear on behalf of Queen Elizabeth II in organizations under the patronage of the monarch or the royal family in general. So what else did Meghan have to change? Of course, the actress also had to change her religion. Well, Markle was raised as Protestant, but before the wedding, she converted to Anglicanism. After all, the head of the Anglican Church is Elizabeth II herself, and Meghan's modest baptism took place in March of 2018, and the ceremony was conducted by Justin Welby, Bishop of Canterbury. With all of these changes, however, Markle did not receive British citizenship because the marriage with Prince Harry did not provide this automatically, so Meghan had to apply for it like thousands of other immigrants without special treatment. And this takes a lot of time. To obtain British citizenship, a person must have lived on the islands for at least 3 years, know English, and pass the exam. The government website states that applicants should not stay more than 270 days outside of the UK for 3 years before submitting their application. To get a positive result on the test, a person needs to answer 18 out of 24 questions from 3,000 regarding history, customs, and curiosities. Like what, for example? The height of the London Eye, or the number of deputies in the Scottish Parliament. Since the process of changing citizenship lasts even several years, it is not known whether, despite the submission of relevant documents in the face of resignation from senior members of the royal family and moving to America, Meghan continues to do so, and it is not known whether the Duchess will fit in the limit of days spent outside of the UK so that the application will not be rejected. And importantly enough, Meghan has not relinquished American citizenship, so she pays US taxes and her son Archie has dual citizenship. Just what about Harry then? Meghan and Harry's wedding was more expensive than the spectacular ceremony of Prince William and Kate Middleton. Of course, most of the costs were spent on security during the ceremony, while the dress of the bride was designed by Claire Wade Keller from the fashion house Givenchy and was valued at around £387,000. It was rumored that, like in 2011, when Kate's dress was paid by her parents Carol and Michael Middleton, Markle would also pay for the cost of her wedding gown, but in the end, it didn't happen. But Meghan showed her independence, how modern she is, and how feminist she is in a different way during the ceremony. First of all, she went to the altar alone, and perhaps she wanted to do it herself, or maybe it was due to a very sad and not fully explained relationship with her father, who eventually did not come to England. We have a separate video about it, to which the card is now showing to you, so she walked alone, and in the second part of the ceremony, Meghan's father was replaced by Prince Charles. In addition to that, Markle has not sworn obedience to her husband, and she did the same what Diana did in 1981, who also gave up this part in her vow, and later Kate Middleton in 2011. After marriage, Meghan received the title of Duchess of Sussex, Countess of Dumbarton, and Baroness of Kilkeel. She also needed to follow a specific dress code and new obligations to implement, like no more selfies or handing out autographs. Every move of her was closely watched by people checking how she follows the protocol, and the press, which constantly pointed out her mistakes and compared her to Kate Middleton. That's why in an already famous ITV document, Meghan told in tears how the press almost destroyed her. Back then, she said, "When I first met my now husband, my friends were really happy because I was so happy. But my British friends said to me, 'I'm sure he's great, but you shouldn't do it because the British tabloids will destroy your life.' I, very naively, 'I'm American, we don't have that there,' she said. 'What are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. I'm not in tabloids. I didn't get it.' So it's been complicated." It turned out that this was one of the reasons when Meghan and Harry announced at the beginning of 2020 that they will step out of being senior members of the British royal family. And meanwhile, the press, as well as fans of the royals of the UK, actually abuse Meghan, mainly accusing her of rebelling her husband, taking him away from his family and trying to focus attention on herself. Their leaving was even named Megxit. Harry, on the other hand, assured that he would do everything to protect his family and, as always, bravely supported his wife. And so, after many months of unknowns and arrangements between the prince and his family, including primarily the Queen, Elizabeth II, an arrangement was reached between Harry and Meghan so that they could go their own way. They both decided to live on their own and in the greatest privacy possible. Initially, they stayed in Canada for a while, and now they settled in America, in Los Angeles exactly, although it's one of the most watched cities in the world, where it will be rather difficult for them to escape from the paparazzi. But in the end, it's Meghan's real home, where her friends are, her mother, and the opportunity to earn. Because yes, Markle decided to go back to work. After making great changes when she married Harry, now she turns to relative normality and changes await him. And yet it all happened in 2 years of marriage. I guess no one has any doubts that the best thing that happened to Harry was to become a father. The prince has long dreamed of his family, love, closeness. He always had good contact with children. So with the birth of Archie on May 6th of 2019, his dream came true and he happily began to fulfill himself in a new role. The boy's parents decided that their son would lead a relatively normal life and would not have the title of prince, and his official name is simply Archie Harrison Mountbatten Windsor. Although while in the US, Harry spends time with Meghan and his son, now he has to learn a completely new life. So with leaving the royals and by virtue of the concluded arrangement, at the end of March 2020, Harry and Meghan cease to represent the Queen. As a result, they will not receive public funds for their duties or security financed by the monarchy. They retain the titles of Duke and Duchess of Sussex, but will not use his or her Royal Highness titles, although they retain their right to them. What's more is the couple also stopped using the name Sussex Royal, under which their website and Instagram account operated, although they were not removed. And in addition to that, although Meghan and Harry initially wanted to make a living from the sale of gadgets with the Sussex Royal logo, it is now known that they cannot do so. Agreements concluded are to be reconsidered after 12 months. Meghan and Harry, along with their son Archie, managed to move to California before the borders of America were closed due to the prevailing coronavirus. And in Los Angeles, the actress shows and teaches her husband an American lifestyle without royal duties and etiquette. However, almost immediately after their stepping out, internet users began to ask the question, what exactly will Harry do now, and will he become his wife's sugar baby? For now, both have engaged in charity and social activities. They took part in the Project Angel Food Action, during which for several days they distributed food to people with diseases and particularly vulnerable to the virus infection. Then, on the occasion of the first birthday of their son, they published a video in which Meghan keeps the boy on her lap and reads supposedly the favorite tale of the little Archie, Duck Rabbit. The Sussex created a recording of the Save the Children Foundation, which raises funds to help fight the coronavirus. And the video is recorded by Harry, whose giggle can be heard in the background when his son reacts to his mother's story. But such an idle life will not last long. I mean, Meghan reportedly hired an agent to help her return to her acting career, and Harry is thinking about what he could do in his new life because, as it turns out, taking any job may not be that easy. And although for now, everything because of the pandemic has been suspended, so some decisions will have to be made. Accordingly, there were reports in the media that Harry should apply for a green card in the US or obtain a visa to be able to work legally in America. News, however, reached sources that assured that the prince was not going to apply for a green card or dual citizenship in the near future. The visa case, however, remains. The Sunday Times published first reports on the subject, which asserted that if Harry would apply for American citizenship, he would have to completely renounce his titles, and therefore it was suggested that the prince would apply for an employment visa, although it is not known whether it's for entrepreneurs willing to invest in the United States or maybe the O1 visa, also known as the Extraordinary Alien Visa, for people with extraordinary abilities or achievements. What's more is it won't be an easy or a quick process under any circumstances. This, however, gave rise to further rumors that Meghan and her husband are planning a second wedding. The American press, citing sources close to the pair, reports that the Sussexes want to renew their marriage vows and thus symbolically outline a new chapter in their lives. Others say this is allegedly related to obtaining a visa, and marrying Meghan again would speed up the whole process. Could it happen on the anniversary of their unique and fabulous ceremony from 2 years ago? And what do you guys think about all of this? Will Harry last long in America or decide to change citizenship? Is Meghan finally happy away from the royal family? What do you think about the Sussexes' marriage? Have you noticed how many changes have occurred in their relationship in just 2 years? So be sure to let me know in the comments, and also don't forget to like this video and show it to your friends, and enable the subscriptions and notifications because we publish interesting movies about the stars every single day. So see you guys soon!